welcome to the very first lab of this playlist, okay? It's creating your topology. You have a blank packet tracer. And obviously, these are for people, this playlist, I mean, can help anybody out. But if you're stuck, you have like a writer's block, a lab block, okay? This is what's going to help you out. If you've never been in IT before, you haven't done IT, you're just getting your certifications, you're transitioning. So one of the biggest things is like you got this blank canvas. What do I do? You know what I mean? How do I create a lab? What devices do I use? Listen, you have your book, all right? You can YouTube everything. You can go on this playlist, all right? But one of the first things I'm going to show you is let's create a very basic topology. Very basic topology in the sense that it's going to be united with all this redundancy and all this crazy stuff. It's just going to be, hey, listen, let's get to know packet tracers. Let's get to know how to just build something and have connectivity, right? So let's do that. And we'll increase it as we go along. But very simple. I mean, if I were to, give me a blank canvas and you tell me paint something, I'd be like, so what would I do? I would go, I don't know, go to a park and let me paint a tree, paint what is it, a fruit thing? If you go painting fruit, I don't know. If you tell me you should do it on my imagination, zero. I will draw routers. Just draw routers and switches. No. All right, so let's go ahead and now I'm using these 4331 routers. I used to use 1841s. I don't do it anymore, but you could. You might pick one. All right, and we'll do three. Let's do three routers. Why not? Why can't we? Why can't we do three routers? And let's do switches. Right? We know we need switches. But we have an option here. We need to think. That's why we need to understand the fundamentals of networking before you go and automate anything, okay? Am I going to use a layer 2 switch? Am I going to use a layer 3 switch? I personally would say use the layer 3 switch. I wouldn't say that back in the past, but I say it now because that's where the future is headed. But it's still, if you don't enable the layer 3 stuff, it's like a layer 2 switch regardless. So let's just put switches underneath each router. Okay. So let's do that. This is going to turn out to be a very basic topology. Okay. All right. So now we need devices. Okay. Well, we got our routers. We got our switches. I guess we need end devices, right? So let's pick 2 PCs and let's use 1 server. Why, lads? Why you have 1 server? Because in the packet tracer, as much as everybody complains about it, to include me, all right, it does a lot of things. It does a lot of things, okay? You can, mess around with this. If you know a little bit of HTML, you can mess around with this right here, okay? You can have a DHCP server or DHCP v6. If that's something you do in your company, you can create that here. You have a TFTP server. You can back up your stuff to. DNS that you can configure. Syslog, look at that. It's got radius. All right? You can do radius or TACACS. NTP, right? I always made fun of the clock command, right? But I found out that's not funny. You need to go ahead and do an NTP. You can send email to each other in the packet tracer. How cool is that? All right? And then all this other stuff, which I don't care about. All right? So, and when you're configuring, I mean, you're doing these services, obviously go to the servers, but normally going to be on your desktop. All right? But we got our topology. Here it is. But wait a minute. We're missing some stuff. We got to connect them. Well, how are we going to connect them? Well, you got to come here to this lightning bolt and you got to choose a wire. So you got to understand, okay, when I'm connecting PCs and devices to a switch, we use a straight through. It's that solid black cable right here. So I click on it and you have no choice but to use Ethernet. All right. Now, the LAS standard of networking, I use lower ports for my end devices. Yes, I haven't been ratified yet. Okay. Radicalized? No, ratified. Yeah, ratified. That's the word. Not radicalized. All right. So we got this right here. And then we click F00. 1 click, ladies and gentlemen. 1 click. Okay. And then F01. And be consistent in your labs. Be consistent, right? So you don't have to worry about what port was that? What port was that? Be consistent. Understand what you're trying to do, the goal of the lab. Not have to worry about what port was it, what IP was it. That's why you need to get all that squared away before you start doing anything, okay? Now with the packet tracer, tell you right off the bat, this guy's gonna be your best friend. Best friend. Fast forward through time, make sure things get done right away. You're like, hurry up, get it done. All right, then you're gonna come up here, get a straight through, switch to router, straight through. Now these routers have gigabit ports. You see right here, gigabit ports. All right, cool. So I'm gonna come over here, and I'm gonna pick gig 01. All right, we want giga, all right, 1,000 megabits per second. Last can use Cat 5e. It's a simulator. Okay, so use giga for 1,000 megabits. Now they're gonna see a freaking difference. So that's what you want. Okay, so gig, there we go. All right, there we go, gig. Now we ran out of ports for gig ports. Now with these routers, just like with the switches, well, I don't think the switches do, but the routers do. All right, these are modular routers. You ever heard that word before? No, because it's not in your new book, is it? Modular routers, where you have modules that you can connect to. All right, and back in the day, it used to be WIC 2Ts. Now they're called LIN 2Ts. All right, WIC T1s, right? WIC 1T. So you can put there for serial connections. Even though, let me see, I've zoomed in all the way. It says here, gig 001, gig 02. Yeah, that's no. You have a gig 00 and a gig 01. You type in gig 02, nothing's going to happen. All right. And then you have console ports and auxiliary ports. Here's your auxiliary. Okay. Where's your console? I can't really see it. Okay. Well, somewhere in here. You have your console port, and your Ethernet ports, and you have these modules. So what we're going to do, because we don't have enough gig ports, the first connection is going to be serial. Do you use serials nowadays? No. Does your book talk about serials? I think they do. All right, so, but just so you know, there it is. This is called a smart serial. I don't know why. All right, but it's a smart serial. It's AI. Got it. It's but the bandwidth is faster than a WIC 1T. Okay, we should call these WIC cards. It's a lot faster than a WIC 1. That was 64 kilobits per second, and this is 1.544 or 1,544 kilobits per second. All right. So and you gotta turn off the router. It ain't hot swappable. Okay, so you gotta turn off the router in order to put this. So you turn it back on. So you close that, and then you come to this router. Same scenario. Now I zoom in because I can't see the power button, even though I got glasses on. Okay, sad, isn't it? That's what happens when you get older. Stop putting your font size at 10. And now these two will be gigs. We'll have serial here and we have gig here. All right, so we're going to get this one. And it's the one with the little clock because there's no ARP. It's clocking. So 0001 and 0011. Laz, why did you do it that way? Because, so I know the difference. When I start looking at doing show commands, I know who's who. When I look at the routing table, I know exactly what interface is what. If you put both S010, you know, only the seasoned veterans that have been in IT for 100 years can tell what's what. Okay? So I use that's why you see gig 01, gig 00, F00, well obviously there's nothing one, but I put F01. So when I do CDP or LDP, I know which interfaces, or if I do a show IP route, anything like that, I know what's up. I know where it's going to. Oh, that's my neighbor. This is mine. Got it. Make it easy on yourself and be consistent. All right. And now this will be Ethernet. So like devices, crossover cable. So we're going to do gig 01. Unfortunately, I'm going to go against my own rule, gig 01. What we can do so we can follow the rule, well, because it'll be gig 01 here. Well, let me see if we can try and follow the rule that I just said that I would do, right? So I'm going to pick a straight through, and I'm going to pick on this case, I'm going to pick gig 02, hopefully it'll allow me, to gig 01, and then this will be gig 01 to gig 00. Cool. Now everything's a different interface. We know what's what. So there you go. You got your topology. You made intelligent decisions, logical decisions. What is it that you want to see? Because now with 3 routers, you can route. These are layer 3 switches that have the capability of routing. All right. Plus, they can do their own layer 2 stuff. Okay. So we have what we need. And we have a server, if you know, and all that. So we have everything that we need in this little basic